Good morning and welcome back to another Ask an Attorney segment with Mike Kuna here from Kuna Law Firm PLLC. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Jillian.
All right, so this one's pretty timely. This week's question is, Dear Attorney Kuna, my son-in-law and daughter were out and about on St. Patrick's and my son-in-law got arrested for a DUI. My daughter told me he blew a .08. Please help us. They are very good kids without any criminal records and I'm afraid this incident will ruin their lives. What should we do? Thank you so much, sir.
Well, first, this incident will not ruin your life. I know it's hard to believe right now, but there are far worse offenses than a DUI. A DUI is a misdemeanor B, and a first DUI does not have mandatory jail time. So the maximum jail time you can get is 30 days. However, it's highly unlikely that you'll get it, and I'll explain why. First, there are several issues with DUIs. Let's imagine for a second that Jillian, our notorious bank robber, is actually not a bank robber, but instead an alcoholic.
You know, I have to cope somehow.
Great hobbies, Jillian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because Jillian is an alcoholic, she was driving and she got a DUI. Then Jillian's dad called me and asked me to help her out.
Okay.
The first thing I would do in a situation like that is file a Rule 16 discovery request. Why would I do that? In order to see the evidence that the state has. The moment I got that evidence, I'm gonna look for issues with the state's case. Why? Because that will give me strength in my negotiations with the prosecutorial office. And I believe a person should negotiate from a point of strength, not a weakness. So the first most common issue that we find is an illegal traffic stop. Why? Because the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution denies the government the ability to commit unlawful searches and seizures. Therefore, if the officer who committed the traffic stop did not have reasonable suspicion to commit that traffic stop, I'm able to file a motion to suppress the evidence under the exclusionary rule because all that evidence is basically fruit of the poisonous tree. Another very common issue that happens quite often, especially in weekends where we have holidays like St. Patrick's, is the copy-paste police report. The most important piece of evidence, except for the blood alcohol concentration level, is the officer's testimony. And if the officer's police report is a copy-paste police report that has bad names, issues with gender mistakes, or timelines, I'll be able to crucify that officer on the stand, and the prosecutor understands that quite well. The most problematic issue in a police report is the time frame. Why? Because the more time passes, the more alcohol goes to your blood and to your body, and therefore the level increases. Therefore, if the timelines are incorrect, or the breathalyzer test was conducted 3 hours after the person was driving, that can cause severe issues. Also, there are issues with the calibration of the breathalyzer device, especially if you had 100 tests conducted prior. Usually that happens through the time frame of a week. However, in nights like St. Patrick's, it probably happens quite often and more or less 200 times a night. Another problematic issue is the field sobriety tests, because most police officers are actually not trained well to conduct those. And if they were not conducted well, I'm able to suppress that evidence too. However, the most important part is to call me in the beginning stages of the case, because then I have more time to negotiate and take a proactive stance in which I send my clients immediately to conduct all the actions that are needed for further negotiations with the prosecutorial office. For example, a chemical dependency evaluation and the follow-through of that evaluation. So we can keep you safe, Jillian.
Perfect. Love to hear it. And with that experience and knowledge, I would want my dad to pay you to represent me in that case too. All right, well, if you have a legal question you'd like to ask, you can go to our website at valleynewslive.com and click on the Ask an Attorney tab. We have lots more of North Dakota coming up right after the break.